Good morning, everybody. 34 minutes after the hour. Welcome back to the Sunrise Show. And want to welcome onto the program as my next guest, Dr. Mark Christian. He's a founder and executive director of Global Faith Institute out of Nebraska. And globalfaithinstitute.org is their website. And Dr. Mark Christian is an MD, but also an OBGYN. Grew up and born and raised in Egypt, and then came to America and actually came, believe it or not, born-again Christian, and has left the Muslim faith and now looks back and has this incredible window for us as Americans to look and see through with his guidance. And Dr. Mark Christian, it's great to have you on the program this morning.
Thank you very much for having me. It's an honor to be on your show. And happy Father's Day to all of the dads out there.
Exactly right. And the summer solstice day as well. And there's some healing going on in Charleston, South Carolina. You have to be... what are your thoughts, Mark, coming from, your background and, a born-again Christian now, and our hearts are breaking, of course, but then you also have to mix in what is happening from around the world on the global stage. What were your comments on that?
It's a devastation to see the life lost at the church, the way it happened in Charleston, and fueling into the debate and argument that's going on between the African American community and American society in general, and fueling it. I was in complete disagreement with President Obama, referring to the incident by asking for more gun control, and and he's right about this strategy should stop and should not happen again. But it is not only in America that happens, and there is a whole bunch of political agenda behind it, and I'm just devastated to see the killing and the death on a regular basis like that.
Well, yeah, and I was talking, before, earlier on the show, is that, we as Americans need to wake up and realize that we are at war with terrorism, and that we do need to take a stand, and that we are so fortunate in this country, and that the rest of the world is looking for a leader, and America has been that leader for so many years. I don't know if we want to be the leader related to this topic or not, but it's just a matter of knowing that we're all connected. It's very difficult.
It is very difficult also to talk about this matter without hurting somebody. It is a very touchy issue with everybody. And the argument keep on rising, and gas keep on put on the gasoline, and nobody's trying to end this argument whatsoever. Always somebody in the media talking about there is a real problem, there is a real issue, what is going on, how can we stop this, how can we, and if you said anything, it will hurt somebody. There is nothing that you can do or say that will please people, but it's an icky issue, and some drastic measures has to be taken to stop this. And it has to stop from the leaders of this great nation, America, to say that we passed the point of racial discrimination, and it is time to unite together, and it is time not to talk about it other than how to solve the problems and not continue fueling the problem like this.
Exactly. And, the next thing is this is so powerful, and I hope that our leaders will take a hint, and that is the power of love. The power of love in Charleston, South Carolina, and around the world, around the United States right now, as our hearts are broken and we're pouring love into the people of Charleston and the families that are directly affected, by this. And you see the power and the lives changed, and it comes right out of the Bible. The number one powerful force in the world is love.
Amen to that. And I don't understand why there is a problem right now. America passed the point of racial discrimination way back, and we have an African-American president. We have lots of African-American, great people in leadership in this country, whether in financial institutions or on media outlets or in political, arena. I don't know why we continue talking about it as it's an issue like till today. We need to stop talking about it. And, I cannot stop myself of thinking why this is happening and why now. And again, if there is any kind of political gain, if there is any kind of a dirty hand behind scenes trying to move things and steal things up to help somebody's agenda or political agenda, I cannot stop myself from asking those questions. It's not about conspiracy, but we have to ask why those and why it's happening right now. And if you look at this particular pastor who was shot and killed in this incident, and how he was standing up against the previous incident that happened between the police and the African American community, and how he was pushing the agenda of putting a camera on. So that was not he was a target for some reason, and this is happening for a reason right now. Those people who has playing in the background, that I suspect that there is people playing in the background, should stop right now, because God's wrath on them is not going to be easy.
No, it's not. And I think, Mark, that the breakdown of the family, because if you look at this shooter and you look at the people that traditionally have been involved in this, they are very distraught, and they've got turmoil inside them, and they've not been loved on, they've not been mentored to, and they've come up with these ideas on their own. They're this lone wolf type stuff, and it's because the politicians, the elected officials, have allowed societies to break down the family, whether it's with movies and music and those type of things. But the families are the absolute essence of a structure in America, and they've allowed that. So you kind of have to go, well, if you can't build up the family and support the family, then you're going to get this insidious turmoil as a byproduct. So, Mark, we've got to get to a break, and let's come back. I've got Dr. Mark Christian with the Global Faith Institute with me right now, and we'll come back. We'll continue after this break. So stay tuned. More in the Sunrise Show, and I can't wait to hear more from Dr. Mark Christian on what's happening with the Global Faith Institute and how and what great things they're doing. Check them out. And Mark, it's great to have you on this morning. We'll be right back after this break.
To improving quality of life, BrainJoy is a game changer. Everyone understands how a good diet and exercise can increase strength and stamina, but what about your mental fitness? The fact is, your brain, just like your body, can be trained for greater performance and focus. BrainJoy helps draw out this untapped potential to make the good life a reality. Learn more and book online at BrainJoy.com.
You slept great last night, laundry is done, the bills are paid, you're ready for an exciting day at work, and then getting home to spend some time with the family. If this reminds you of how stressed, overwhelmed, and tired you are, call BrainJoy. People don't just wake up refreshed because they bought a new mattress. Like a cool breeze on a hot summer day, BrainJoy will help you attain greater focus, clarity, and peace of mind. You can be free from anxiety, frustration, and worry. Call now to schedule your free consultation at 541-622-6220 or learn more and book online at BrainJoy.com. Experience your life with BrainJoy.
Napa know-how! You bought 5 quarts of Valvoline conventional oil and a Napa silver filter for just $19.99. So now's your time to shine, king of the cul-de-sac. Just don't drop the drain plug in the pan. Again. 5 quarts of Valvoline and a silver filter, just $19.99. Conquer the job with Napa know-how. General states pricing. Sales prices do not include applicable state local taxes or recycling fees at participating Napa Auto Parts stores. Offer expires 6/30/15.
I'm Jay Farner with some great news on how you could save an average of $3,000 per year on your mortgage. Call Quicken Loans now at 800-QUICKEN to see if you qualify for the government's Home Affordable Refinance Program, or HARP. The HARP guidelines have changed. There's less paperwork and often no appraisal required. Call 800-QUICKEN. That's 800-QUICKEN, or visit QuickenLoans.com.
Important terms and conditions apply. Call us for cost information. Equal housing lender. Licensed law 50 states and MLS number 3030.
You're running your business, and we at Wix.com know things can get stressful. But creating your website doesn't have to be. With Wix, you can create a professional website all by yourself. It's easy and free. You don't have to be a programmer. Just drag and drop everything into place. It's your website, your style. Show the world what you can do. Go to Wix.com and create your own stunning website today. It's easy and free.
News Radio 880 is your Southern Oregon home for the Oregon Ducks. Big shout out to Jason Spieth as he wins the U.S. Open and goes on to possibly shoot for the Grand Slam. Well, more great coverage coming up tonight on ESPN Radio 580. The Medford Rogues are back in town. They kick off. Coverage begins at 6:20, first pitch at 6:35. The Medford Rogues and the Top Speed Academy on ESPN Radio 580.
From ABC Sports. Hi, everybody. I'm Todd Ed. He's only 21, and Jordan Spieth is now a two-time major winner after capturing the U.S. Open Championship in Chambers Bay, Washington. Spieth birdied 18 for a one-stroke lead, while Dustin Johnson had a chance for the win or tie, but he three-putted 18. Spieth wins the National to go along with his Masters green jacket.
To have two in 1 year and to still be early in the year, that's hard to wrap my head around.
Spieth is the youngest U.S. Open champ since Bobby Jones in 1923 and joins Craig Wood, Ben Hogan, and Tiger Woods as the only golfers to win the first two majors of the season.
Those names are the greatest that have ever played the game, and I don't consider myself there, but certainly off to, I think, the right start in order to make an impact on the history of the game.
The British Open is next at St. Andrews, July 16th. The Sunday night baseball game in Los Angeles wasn't even close.
Grandal with a fly ball to deep right field. And that one is gone. A home run for Yasmani Grandal.
On 570 KLAC, Dodgers crushed the Giants 10-2. This is ABC Sports. It was a big weekend for the Nationals after dropping 14 of 20, and they took it out on the Pirates.
Swinging a long drive, deep right field. Forget about it. Going. Gone. Goodbye. Into the second deck. Over the bullpen. Home run number 24.
On WJFK, as Bryce Harper slams a two-run shot, Washington sweeps the Pirates 9-2 in a weekend the Bucks would like to forget. And the White Sox and Rangers went to extra innings in Chicago.
Pitch to Gordon, a high fly to left, is hit well. Going back to the track, along the fence, jumps, home run! Sox win on a Beckham home run!
On WSCR, Gordon Beckham ended the game. White Sox topped Texas 3-2. Met starter Matt Harvey had a four-hit shutout with 2 outs in the 7th until Ryan Lavarnway came up.
Swinging a shot and a center base hit. Lagares charging. Does he have the arm? He's throwing home. It's wide. It's high. The run scores.
On WOR, and that was all the Braves needed in a 1-0 victory. Julio Teheran gave up just 1 hit in 7 innings, and the Braves sweep the Mets. Women's World Cup Sunday. Australia, France, Canada advance to the quarterfinals. The U.S. in action tonight against Colombia. Abby Wambach was punched by Colombia's Lady Andre during the 2012 World Cup. Andre's predicting a victory this time around.
Does that mean Colombia is going to come out and bunker back in? I don't know. They might come after us. They may surprise us. We have to be ready for anything, and I think that's another strength of our team.
Game time, 8 p.m. Eastern. Todd Ant, ABC Sports.
I'm talking to you, so come on. Shout!
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. 49 minutes after the hour, it's the Sunrise Show on News Radio 880 KCMX. Craig Froelich is your host, and continuing with Dr. Mark Christian of the Global Faith Institute, globalfaithinstitute.org. You know, it's interesting, Mark, everything going on the global stage and how quickly it shifts. And people are so ready, Americans are so ready for this problem from radical Islam. There's so many words. Mark, what's the right the correct, because you've always said on the program that Islam is a political agenda. It's not a religious agenda. It always began as a political agenda, but it's referred to in the media many times as radical, jihadists. Those type of things.
I wouldn't agree with all of this, Greg. Sorry for interrupting you.
No,
I don't agree with radical Islam and all that kind of stuff. The reality of things is Islam as an ideology is split into two kind of big parts. A religion where people are to pray 5 times a day, fast, give their money to their mosque, and other things that they do as a ritual or a religion, which is, covered and protected by the Bill of Rights and the freedom of religion. But the 80% to 70% of Islamic ideology is a political agenda and political ambitions. And what we are dealing with and what we are fighting in America is not radical Islam, it is political Islam. And nobody wants to identify that, because political Islam means the political ambition of the Islamic nation to reestablish itself again and then continue to conquer the world. And with that, we have a serious problem. Those people who are fighting for the cause of Islam, not fighting for people to pray 5 times a day, but they are praying for reestablishing the Islamic State and taking it over to conquer the rest of the world. This is the problem, and this is not protected by the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and the freedom of religion in this country. But nobody wants to say that. Nobody wants to target that issue. Nobody wants to even touch that issue from close or far, because, it is so much, mixed together with the Islamic ideology in their books, in the holy book of the Islam, the Quran, and the teachings of Muhammad and so forth, that nobody wants to take the initiative to try to dissect those two from each other and let Muslims practice their own religion in this country peacefully, and at the same time do not have any kind of political agenda or political ambition.
So that's exactly right. What they've tried to, the rest of the world that's looking in that is non-Muslim, they look in and it's just this muddy water of Islam. And you're right, the religious group is tugged in, pulled in, dragged in with the political Islam.
Yes, and it is part of the rituals of Islam itself to be politically, ambition into controlling the whole world. And there's people who reject that narrative and says, I will stop. Like somebody says, I will do the 5 pillars. I would not go into the political part. But there is lots of people who jump into the political part. And this is what we have over here in this country. And to be honest with you, people are ready right now to get over with this and to fight this problem heads on, because they are tired of the discouragement and other things going on. And there is people out there that they feel like they are defeated. There is nothing they can do. And I'm struggling with both, because, I am uniquely equipped to take the role that I am taking with the Global Faith Institute, but we are lacking, people, will to do something and also to fund the initiative that we are trying to do. And I know God will provide, and I know that we will move forward. God did not put me in this position for nothing and did not equip me for nothing. It's just a kind of an act of obedience to Him. But on the other side is, we see on the other side, the progressive movements and the Democratic Party and others who are pushing their agenda without even fear. And we are lacking even to stand up against it. I was astonished by the statement that came out of the White House talking about President Obama's support of the Muslim Brotherhood, something that I've been talking about for quite some time. And nobody even talked about that. Nobody even said anything. What does that even mean? Why President Obama and the current administration is supporting the Muslim Brotherhood as a solution to the Middle East and to give them legitimacy in the United States of America. There is things that people completely ignoring and not want to talk about it anymore.
It is amazing how the Obama administration and even political leaders will just spew out untruths, and they go unchecked. And the American people just sit there, and it kind of just goes in one ear and out the other, and then you wonder if it grabs a hold at all, and why. And see, once again, we talk about this due diligence for the American family and the fact that they have not. You look at these big cities, the fact that you've got children are either in poverty or growing up on their own, making bad decisions, and not being mentored, not being loved, and the political leaders aren't doing anything. They haven't done anything. And so now they've got this more focus on power and control and lying to the American people, quite frankly, coming out of the Senate and the U.S. House of Representatives. They just spin us around in circles.
Because here is a problem, Greg. You know, lots of people are ignorant about the topic of Islam altogether. It is foreign to the mindset of Americans and the West in a way, because it has been, ignored for many, many years. And when the people who are equipped to talk or studied to talk, they have been targeted by the media. Why? Because one of the biggest Islamist kind of organization in this country has a stronghold in the media, which is CAIR, Council of American Islamic Relationship.
Yep.
And they label anybody who speaks out, even if yourself right now, if they get a hold of you right now and says, you are offending Islam and saying so and so, you will be on a list called the Islamophobe list, and you've been targeted, and you're going to be, given a whole bunch of names from a bigot, from anti-peace, all kinds of stuff that they do. So they discredit you completely, even by presenting the facts. And this is the problem that we have in this country. So how can we solve it? We need to be more educated altogether as a country. And this is what I do on a regular basis right now. I talk every week between 1,000 to 1,200 people every week in 2 sessions. And the other thing is we need to work tirelessly to shut down these organizations that is targeting the American people, which is CAIR and MSA, because those organizations do not represent the mainstream Muslims who are peaceful, that we call them peaceful Muslims, and they are not representing anything about Islam as a religion, but they are political agenda Muslims. And those organizations need to be shut down.
Exactly. And I always, when we have these discussions, I always want to give credence to Muslims in their faith. Because it's completely different, like you said, the difference between the religious Islam and the political Islam. But Mark, we have to leave it there, unfortunately. But it's great to have you on, and it's so invigorating. I just hope and pray that you're able to continue your work and do great things with the Global Faith Institute around the country and helping Americans learn more and more. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Mark Christian with the Global Faith Institute. Please get to his website, globalfaithinstitute.org, and Mark, it's great to talk to you, and have a safe week.
Thank you.
All right. Take care. We'll be back. More on the Sunrise Show after this break. ABC News is coming up. We'll be back at the top of the hour.